Good morning, everyone. I'm delighted to be here today with Davide De Giulio, who is the CEO and founder of NGG. I'm Susanna Clark, our Executive VP of Communications for Farfetch. And Davide and I were speaking recently about fashion and what it was all about. And Davide said that it's about conversations. So we thought today would be a great time to have a conversation. Before we get going, I'm going to play a short video to show everyone what Davide and his team at NGG have been up to. Davide, it's very clear that you and your team have built some incredible brands there, but it'd be great to hear a little bit from you about the journey to get NGG to the company that it is today. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, thank you, Susanna. Good morning. So my journey, sorry for my voice, my journey, the NGG journey is strangely about starting in the wrong place to get to the right place. And what do I mean by that? I've learned how to build a good business. Let me bring that to life. My background is in fashion, born and raised in Milan, Italy. I grew up in the showroom with my mom, who worked in fashion. I went to school to study art and architecture. I started my first venture when I was 19 years old. Funny to admit, but I went to Yellow Pages to buy cotton, and directly, because I didn't know how to start a business. Over time, I started visiting factories. I learned how to spin cotton, how to cut, print, sew, wash, dye. That gave me deep understanding of not just being a creative, but how to produce and bring things to the market. The reason why NGG is so successful is because I'm extremely operational focused. I work in this industry for 25 years, and I know every aspect of building brands and a platform.
Fantastic. And I think part of NGG's success seems to be your ability and your team's ability to find really incredible creative talent. What is that, especially when they don't really have a fashion background, what is that process like?
If you look at the slide behind me, none of these creative have a fashion background, but they all have one thing in common. They know how to talk to their audience. Essentially, they are community builders. When I met them, they were all unknown in the fashion industry. They had a following, and NGG was able to leverage their relationship with their to grow their popularity. For example, after Off-White, Virgil went on to work with Louis Vuitton. Same for Francesco. He went from Palm Angel to Moncler jeans. After Heron Preston, Heron went on to work with Calvin Klein. After Ambush, Yoon went on to work with Dior Jewelry. NGG is great at finding real creativity and bringing ideas to life.
Well, I think one of the things I'd love to ask about is, clearly, if I had a brand that I'd like to create tomorrow, I'd love to understand a little bit more about what that process would look like. What's the secret to success?
So at New Guards, we find creatives, enable the conversation, and we provide the platform. The platform is the hardest to develop, and that's why so many businesses fail. And we have succeeded in developing that. NGG has the people and the infrastructure to build brands. The strongest thing behind our brand is the platform. Let me explain. One of the reasons why Off-White is a success is because we weren't selling t-shirts for $20. When Virgil and I began working together, he wanted to sell a t-shirt next to streetwear brands. But I suggested to price our products for $150 a piece to be close to the luxury industry and to be able to sell in certain markets in order to target that particular customer. The reason we could sell at that price and in those markets is because we had already built the commercial partnership. To be successful, you have to have the right business and the right skill, and that's what we got at New Guards.
Amazing. I'd really like to delve a little bit deeper into Off-White. It's been literally just over a year since Virgil tragically passed away. I'd like to understand a little bit more about how you're viewing Off-White and how you're going to continue to grow that brand.
Yeah. First, I want to pay tribute to Virgil. In Virgil, we lost a true genius who had that crucial first idea, that thing that underpinned a brand. But the conversation goes on, and the brand is growing stronger than ever. The reason why is, first, the team. We have the same team as day one. Second, when the first idea is strong as Virgil's, then the team can carry on. Just to make an example, Valentino, Gucci, Chanel, Alexander McQueen are all examples of this. This is how the industry works, which is why we went with Ibrahim Kamara, as the art and image director at Off-White, because Virgil chose to work with him at Louis Vuitton and Off-White. He knows the brand, and he can carry on Virgil's vision forward with the team. Lastly, choosing Off-White is choosing to join a community. And I'm really proud of the way that this Off-White community continues to grow and carry forward Virgil's vision. As you can see on the slide behind me, we have a clear vision to drive the future of Off-White, drive hype with Ib's new vision, and continue to invest in digital and expand into new geographies and new categories.
Thank you. So obviously there's a relationship with LVMH, which is the majority owner of Off-White. And I think it was useful for us to have a look at a quote here from Michael Burke, who's the chairman and CEO of Louis Vuitton, which is on the screen here. And what he said in an interview last year, I believe it was, with Women's Wear Daily, a trade publication, was that Virgil brought new guards to us. We're absolutely happy and at times positively surprised at how they have taken Virgil's then brand and then turned it into a very, very successful business. There are very, very few that would have achieved what they have achieved. So we wouldn't be doing this at all if we thought the first thing we needed to do was be changing a key partner. It's very complimentary and a great quote.
Yeah, I agree. We have a great relationship with Louis Vuitton and Michael, and I think Michael Burke and LVMH appreciate what we do. We know this market, and we started Off-White from day one. There is no one else that knows the business better than you guys. Simple as that.
Great. It would be fantastic if we could actually delve into another key brand that's a big brand for NGG, which is Palm Angels. How is that brand doing, and what's the trajectory there for growth?
This is going to be a very big brand because we are doing it again. Many might think that we got lucky with Off-White, but Palm Angels' success proves the luck ended there. Francesco, who's the creative director of Palm Angel, is an exceptional creative talent. But without the engine that NGG is, Palm Angel would not have been a success. You cannot start multiple businesses. You cannot start multiple business brands without a system. We've lost the Russian market. With all the problems we're having in China, we doubled the business in 2 years. And we're growing double-digit year on year. And we are excited where the brand is headed. I believe that Palm Angel can be a mega brand. Our focuses are, 1, elevating the brand, 2, expanding our women's wear, which is a profitable and fast-growing channel, and 3, driving D2C on Farfetch and palmangels.com. And I also want to take this opportunity to share some exciting news about Palm Angels. It involves Formula One House team. They have invited us this year to partner with their brand. Everything I mentioned leaves me confident that Palm Angels is on track to become the next mega brand.
Great. So later this year, you were taking on the license of Reebok, which is obviously a huge heritage brand, and I remember very clearly loving my Reeboks in the 1980s. I'd love to hear a little bit more about what we can expect from that partnership.
There are only a few mega heritage sneaker brands: Nike, Adidas, New Balance, Reebok, and Puma. As one of the oldest brands founded in England in 1890s, Reebok is the only heritage brand part of that group with no place in the premium market. We will change that. We own the market, own the channel. We have the right consumers, and we are very strong on collaborations. We know how to position Reebok in the right way. There is a lot we can do with collaborations. For example, Nike Off-White collaborations has been a massive success, and we see the potential to do that again. We also brought in the right team, mostly from Nike. Cristiano Fagnani, who will become CEO of Reebok division, came from Nike and was the mastermind with Virgil behind the success of Nike Off-White. Finally, we plan to leverage Reebok's already strong online penetration to drive growth in Reebok's premium line. All of which is why we are confident we can do a lot with this brand.
Great. And I'm wondering if we can talk a little bit about the financial opportunity for Reebok.
Reebok is already a profitable brand, but our goal is to drive further profitability by growing the premium line. Once we build up the premium offering, the rest of the market follows. We already began developing the premium line and launched our first campaign to top wholesale accounts around the world. It's an exciting opportunity because NGG knows how to elevate brands, and through Reebok's premium line, we can deliver higher profitability.
Thank you. It is about 3 years, Davide, since NGG joined the Farfetch group in what is a very happy marriage. I'd like to understand a little bit more what Farfetch has brought to NGG that didn't exist before this partnership.
Yeah. When looking for a new partner, we were looking for very specific things. Brands like ours built on digital communities, but we didn't have the digital skills and tech to achieve our vision. So Farfetch was the obvious choice. And it's working because Farfetch, before Farfetch acquired us, we were barely at 2% online penetration. And last year we had already expanded to 18%. And in 2 years' time, we expected to be over 30% online. This is a partnership where we each do what we do best. Farfetch has enabled NGG to expand online through the re-platform of FPS and be a presence on the Farfetch marketplace, which has allowed us to drive even stronger growth in our brands.
Thank you. And I'm wondering next as well, obviously you mentioned that Farfetch brings a lot to NGG, but it'd be great to hear more from you about what NGG brings to Farfetch, and particularly the marketplace.
This slide shows that NGG drives serious traffic to the marketplace. Let me start by saying for our first 5 years, we didn't use any paid marketing. We relied on social media. The reality is that in the past 2 years, we have done over 170 collaborations with some of the biggest names in the industry. And not just fashion brands, for example, IKEA, Mercedes, Caviar Caspia, Pioneer, Lamborghini, and so on. 170.
Amazing. And is there a way that you think about driving organic traffic as well, and the types of collaborations we can do in-house?
I mentioned earlier on that you can't build successful brand without a system, and we've created one. It's a recipe, and we have all the ingredients: brands, platform, channel, traffic. We've created, there was one a year ago, which was Farfetch's first private label brand. The brand is sustainable and was developed based on the incredible data that Farfetch has collected based on its nearly 4 million consumers. After 1 year, there was one is already the third largest NGG brand on Farfetch. This has been driven by a combination of Farfetch and social media with very little paid marketing. This is another exciting opportunity that we're driving in partnership with Farfetch.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Davide, for your time and to tell us a little bit more about NGG. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you.
A slight bit of furniture removal, I apologise, but I'd like to introduce Stephanie Fair, who is our group president. She'll be up on the stage in just a moment, and she'll be taking us through how we are the strategic platform partner for luxury.
Works. Great. Allowed everyone a little breathing space. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm very pleased to present to you today and to see each other in person and not just a voice over the phone on our quarterly earnings calls. Today, I'm going to wrap up the business section and show you the strategic role that Farfetch plays in the industry. Before I begin, I would like to give you a quick overview of my background. I have over 20 years of experience in the industry, from a marketing agency early on working with LVMH brands, to in-house at a brand Issey-Miyake, or while sitting on the board of Moncler, to media and publishing at American Vogue. I have seen most sides of this industry, from online to offline. My first startup was a pre-owned marketplace for luxury in 2005, arguably a little early for its time. I was on the executive board of Net-a-Porter during the fast growth years of 2009 to 2015. I launched and ran an off-price business at the outlet, and at Farfetch we are a full-price proposition, and I have had oversight of the industry from a public body and government perspective as chair of the British Fashion Council. My role at Farfetch started in the lead-up to IPO to work on our strategic positioning, and for the last 3 years I've been on the demand side, driving our move to build our brand and invest in an elevated customer experience. In my 6 years at Farfetch, what really keeps me here is what Farfetch has built, which is unique, and the value that it can deliver to this industry. Combining my experience at Farfetch with this 360-degree view of the industry gives me a deep understanding of the dynamics at play and positions me well as group president to work with our most important partners at group level to develop their strategies through our services, which delivers value to them and delivers value to us. With that in mind, if you remember 2 things from my presentation today. First is that the industry is moving quickly and the dynamics are changing. What I will show you is that our platform capabilities and how we operate between our pillars as a group means that for the brands, we have become invaluable. We believe that we have become a strategic imperative to the industry. Second, because our platform is so strategic and our pillars work together, we have a catalyzing effect on growth and should be viewed as more than the sum of our parts. So let me take you to some industry context. José spoke about the overall size of the market, and as a reminder, here are the dynamics at play. Despite recent macro volatility, the structural growth is clearly there. The industry is growing and it is moving online. It is also now predominantly millennial and Gen Z, with a much bigger opportunity in emerging markets that were not previously as penetrated by luxury, like China certainly, but also beyond. And it is underpinned by 3 industry trends, which we have heard consistently from our conversations with all the large luxury brands. Of course, the first is the move to e-concession as part of the brand's D2C strategy. The second is a focus on digitizing, of course, but beyond that, the importance of innovating consistently. And finally, sustainability, which is no longer just a nice to have. One back, one forward. Our USPs. And unsurprisingly, our USPs match up to these very industry dynamics. And why? This is very deliberate because we have built the business to enable these changes. But in some cases, like innovation and the concession business, we have led the industry change. From a broad-based audience that skews millennial and Gen Z, but definitely speaks to other demographics, as Edward showed, to a global reach beyond the traditional centers for luxury, to using our scale to enable more conscious behavior, we are putting these capabilities at the service of the industry. And how do we do this? Let's take a step back. You have all seen this slide. This has been our mission all along, and you have heard from each of the pillars. And as José says, this is not a conglomerate. These business pillars all work together to create disproportionate value, not just from an operating leverage standpoint, as you might well expect from a platform, and Elliot will talk about this, but from a revenue opportunity. Unlike a retailer, for example, where the conversation with brands are mainly focused on a channel and a seasonal buy, and which season to season may go up or may go down, our services span across commercial, marketing, and technology, touching every aspect of a brand's own growth strategy. In this way, we are unique. There is no other version of this specifically built for luxury. And here's an example of this. You've heard from Davide about the incredible Off-White journey. What we have here is a transformation story. A fantastic brand, which in 2019 was predominantly wholesale when Farfetch acquired its parent company, NGG. It needed a digital strategy, which we were able to drive to deliver direct-to-consumer growth. And this was our thesis for the acquisition of NGG, that we could accelerate a brand's digital presence on the one hand, but also, from a Farfetch standpoint, gain the exclusive original content that could drive low-cost customer engagement on Farfetch. From 2019 to 2022, Off-White went from a 4% mix of D2C sales to a 20% mix of direct-to-consumer in the space of 3 years. I don't know of a single brand that has accelerated their online D2C at this pace. And this is thanks to one single integration, which has allowed for efficient stock distribution from multi-brand to monobrand. It was enabled by a record-speed FPS re-platform. In 4 months, the brand launched offwhite.com with global shipping, localized payment in currencies, localized merchandising and content, and digital marketing from day one, with new languages added since launch, and innovation features such as virtual try-on, which was developed for the marketplace initially and able to be consumed via our platform by offwhite.com. Off-White was able to grow the China market, as Judy spoke about, through launching a WeChat mini program and a Tmall store through our Curiosity China agency. And besides the sales on the marketplace, what you heard from Davide was the incredible list of exclusive collaborations that launched on Farfetch.com first, like Palm Angels for Moncler or Ambush for Converse. Off-White Nike generated nearly 1 billion hits in a day across our platforms, the single highest level of traffic to our sites today, and which was entirely free media. But we also see this value add across many other brands. You heard from Kelly about Ami Paris, who joined the marketplace in 2016 and are also an FPS client. By their own admission, their accelerated growth started with their partnership with Farfetch. Furthermore, the numbers tell us this. Brands that are both on marketplace and FPS clients for the last 3 years, and in Q3 2022, as a snapshot view, grew over 10 times their monobrand business, showing the complementarity of the proposition. As it is for the customer, it is for the brands, not an either or, but an and, as part of their complete digital strategy. Let me take you through another example. Gucci's story is well known. Under Marco Bizzarri and Alessandro Michele, the brand was reinvented and has seen huge growth over the past 7 years, a brand that you could argue could go it alone. Yet when they went on this journey, we were the only platform that was able to seamlessly integrate into their systems and offer concession at scale. And they have consistently engaged with us in further integrations, more stock points, and more services consumed through us to target our audiences, develop new innovations, and grow markets. They innovated with us on logistics with F90 delivery, same-day delivery in 90 minutes. When we launched our communities campaign on Farfetch, playing to our multiple points of view, they were our anchor launch brand. And they used us via media solutions to amplify their Imagined Futures campaign around sustainability. And now, via Coty, we also carry the Gucci brand for beauty, growing the footprint of the brand across categories. The Gucci example shows that through our multiple service offerings, we can support brands in their own strategies. Let me take you through a different story. Burberry's angle in the industry has always been to be the most digitally forward brand, always testing new technologies and engaging in new channels first. And Farfetch is one of the partners who they've consistently innovated with gaming in 2019 with the V-Surf game, and with a full immersive augmented reality experience to launch their new Olympia bag this year. We talk about technology as an enabler, and certainly it is. Technology as a hidden engine powering an experience, which is how it should be in luxury. But overt innovation at the service of the customer is something the new generation of digitally native consumers, gamers, if you will, asks for. Burberry gets this, and Farfetch has made it one of its USPs. This is tech, but make it fashion. And finally, to bring it all together from a case study point of view, the example of Ferragamo. Until 2021, Marco Gobbetti was the CEO of Burberry, where he worked with Farfetch on the initiatives you saw previously. In 2022, he took on the role of CEO of Ferragamo with a mandate to turn around this $1.3 billion brand, which was losing market share, it was losing fashion relevance, and it had an aging customer base. Within 6 months of his appointment, Marco Gobbetti appointed Farfetch as a full 360-degree partner to help him drive that transformation. And we are doing just that. By expanding supply through opening more stock points for the marketplace, we have just delivered new warehouse integrations for the US and Europe. As you heard from Judy, focusing on China with Curiosity China with a fully integrated set of marketing programs, with significant investment in co-branded partnerships throughout the year to drive awareness among Farfetch's audience of affluent millennials. And in order to drive their own e-commerce, as we've seen with Off-White, Ferragamo is fully replatforming to FPS, as this is a way to leapfrog the competition and develop features specifically for luxury. You will also note the acceleration of the partnership. In previous examples, the number of services consumed by brands were over a number of years. Here, it is a holistic engagement across our entire flywheel from the get-go, with more to come. As illustrated by this partnership, when it comes to big, strategic, transformational decisions, Farfetch is the partner of choice. Which is what brings us to what I said at the start on the unique nature of the Farfetch proposition in the industry. So let me wrap up with a few key takeaways. We have 3 clearly defined pillars with a clear audience for each. The B2C marketplaces, servicing our luxury consumer, our B2B offering with Farfetch Platform Solutions, and our brand platform enabling a stable of culturally leading luxury brands. Each of these is serving a different part of the industry with key USPs and outcomes. You've heard from Edward that the scale achieved over the last 14 years has given us a valuable audience which we can continue to build on with retention and loyalty drivers, levers, and with high margin revenue through media solutions, therefore driving profitability. From Kelly, you've seen that our proposition is truly unique, a platform we built for ourselves, put to the service of the brands, by luxury for luxury, a point I cannot emphasize enough in the context of the competitive landscape of service providers, services that we build to be profitable from day one. And from Davide, you've seen what it takes to build a luxury brand for this generation. Not easily replicable. It is a mix of art and science, the confluence of communities, a scalable industrial platform, and the best relationships in the industry to source talent. And NGG has done this multiple times and profitably. And all of these are at the service of our 2 most important stakeholders, the brands and the luxury customer directly via the brands we serve. So in conclusion, when you think about Farfetch, rather than thinking about each platform individually or each individual capability, think about us like our partners do. A holistic, strategic, innovative, transformative platform. A platform that brings greater value to the industry than the sum of our parts. Thank you.